So, hey everybody, welcome to the June meeting of the Mycological Association of Washington. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we can get this party started. I'm going to do my normal little intro with some just club goings-ons and some fungi in the news. Tonight, Annie Weissman's going to do our ID table off of pictures from iNaturalist. So I'm mixing it up a little bit, giving Mitch a break. We're going to play parts of a talk by Sigrid Jacob about fungal DNA that she did for the Northeast Consortium presentation series that MAW is also a part of. So sort of a shortened version of her presentation for that, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time. Well, Tom McCoy and Megan Romberg are going to talk about what we as a club have been doing on DNA sequencing of fungi, and then hopefully have a nice discussion sort of bouncing around with Sigrid, Tom, and Megan, and possibly other folks who are on the meeting who've been participating in that. And well, you know, hopefully people will jump in with questions for them, and we have some questions for them about sort of how we can be most effective as a club doing all of this, and sort of its larger importance as community science. So upcoming programs, a little less on the agenda. The Northeast Consortium takes a break for the summer, but they do have one last person scheduled, Leif Rivarden, who's a Norwegian mycologist. I looked him up because they didn't have a topic yet for his talk. It looks like he's published a lot on African mushrooms, so who knows what that could be. Could be really interesting. On Sunday, June 19th, for their international, the folks in Europe who talk, they do them on Sunday afternoons, so that it's like evening there and our afternoon.
There was another announcement that came out, but I didn't want to flood people before the before this meeting. There's two more consortium talks coming up before they suspend for the rest of the summer. I think Leaf is going to be the last one of the three, but a notice will come out on that tomorrow, and it will be on our website as well under the consortium's on the consortium's page.
Perfect.
So you can always pick up the link there.
Yep. And then for our MAW meeting, so the first Tuesday of July, John has lined up Nathan Wilson, who's the president of Mushroom Observer. So we talk a lot about iNaturalist and doing community science through them. But Mushroom Observer is another option that is 100% mushrooms, sort of similar to iNat in some ways and quite different in others. So we'll hear from Nathan about that project. Apparently they have an app that's about to come out.
In beta testing now.
This is just a plug that I do every month, that all of our past programs are recorded and online. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/MAWDC, where you can find our first Tuesday presentations. And then the Northeast Consortium presentations that I talked about are sort of members only. So if you log in to the MAWDC website and go to the tab for consortium presentations, you'll find links. It's like the setting on YouTube where you can get to it only if you have access to the link. You won't find it by searching YouTube. Some other upcoming stuff. We are finalizing plans for the Folklife Festival. I'm going to send out an email to the whole club if folks want to volunteer for some of this stuff. We'll probably want help sort of staffing the table at the Folklife Festival, but and we would love help with folks bringing us mushrooms to show off to people. So sort of during that Folklife Festival window, that first week of the Folklife Festival, June 22nd to July 4th, we're going to be tabling and looking at mushrooms, and also have some sort of more shelf-stable displays going on. So that should be fun. July 4th, we have a picnic scheduled. It was supposed to be at Greenbelt Park. Greenbelt has had a water main break that is shutting down their facilities there. So we're looking for another location. Most likely it will be at Watkins Regional Park. We'll put this out by email as well, and folks can sign up. But we're hoping to grill a bunch of mushrooms and have people bring other food as well, and just have some fun on the 4th. And then Labor Day weekend will be our big weekend retreat up in Jennerstown, Pennsylvania at the Sequanota Conference Center, which is always a good time. Very moist, lush, wonderful mushroom hunting area. Later in September, the North American Mycological Association has its weekend foray in Missouri. Connie Durnan, who is helping run that foray, I believe she's the registrar, is going to be driving out from DC, and just offered that if anyone from the club is interested in going but not sure how to get there, that would be one option, to hook up with Connie. I can get you in touch with her if you just email me at info@MAWDC.org. And then way out in October, we always have our annual mushroom fair at Brookside Gardens, which is just a day of going out and looking for mushrooms and getting as many as we can on the ID table, and just enjoying the diversity. And hooking in a lot of people who are at Brookside having no idea they were going to look at mushrooms that day. A few fungi in the news items. I thought this one was interesting. So you know that a bunch of Amanita species, the toxin that is in them is called Amanita toxin. And there are other poisonous mushrooms that also have Amanita toxin in them that are not related to Amanita, right? So we believe that they do not have Amanita toxin in them because they have some shared ancestor with the Amanitas. And it doesn't, so this paper just came out saying it doesn't even look like a case of convergent evolution where they independently evolved to have Amanita toxin. They think it may have been a process of gene transfer where the genes actually made it from one species to another, which is something that happens in bacteria apparently quite frequently, that DNA can get passed along. And this paper didn't really explain how they think it happened, but they think that this may have happened with passing Amanita toxin around among these different species that contain it. So there's this scientific paper, and then it got written up in the New York Times at the beginning of May. The Guardian had an interesting article about musicians who hook mushrooms up basically to the same technology that is used for lie detector tests. So they're picking up the electric signals in the fruiting bodies of the mushrooms. And you may remember a couple months ago, there was a paper that got a lot of attention because someone had taken these electric signals and sort of grouped them with a linguistic analysis and said, oh, mushrooms have a vocabulary of these electrical pulses that is kind of like a vocabulary of words. Well, so the Guardian ran this article about the music that people are making with these electric pulses. I will play a minute of it for you. And lastly, Steve White sent me this podcast from Stuff You Should Know, which started out asking the question, why does artificial banana flavor not taste like bananas? And what they discovered is that it tastes like the Gros Michel banana, which was wiped out in the 1950s by a fusarium wilt. So it ended up being partly about fungi in a very roundabout way. And Steve just thought that was a fun little link in an unexpected place. So go check that out. It's a fun podcast in general. All right, I think that is all I have. So I will stop sharing my screen and turn things over to Annie for our ID table.